Hey, what's good, y'all? Fuzion here, back with another reaction video. Um, Daily videos, all August. We dropped it yesterday. Today we got another video, and tomorrow I will have another video about Team USA. Just from what I see personally, from their roster and how their roster works. Um, from the outside looking in, from people who really don't, how do I say this? Watch basketball and care about the technicality of basketball, they are not understanding what is going on with their team, with this team. I think that the roster itself is great. I do think there are some outliers there who could be pushed to have more minutes. Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton, and Joel Embiid. But do they fit into offense? You have Curry, who is the first option, LeBron, who is the first option, and Kevin Durant, who is the first option. Those three, who is ever on the court at that time, should be touching the ball on every single time down the floor on the offensive side. Everybody else should be focused in more so on defense, rebounding, getting easy putback plays, sort of on that side. You got to be able to understand and see who are the top dogs and roll with that. That's why they have the Drew Holidays of the world, the Derek White, Bam Adebayo, even Anthony Davis, who may be able to score the basketball well, but he's a great defensive player at heart, and I think that is his best asset in the Olympics. Devin Booker, he's always been solid on the defensive end. I don't think he's ever really been that great, but you're seeing him locking in on that side. He's almost like a Klay Thompson-esque player, great on both sides of the ball. Maybe don't shoot the three as well as Klay, but as far as like mechanics goes, shots, a lot of his shots he shoots looks like they are going in just off of like mechanics wise. I do think that his like release is a little bit lower than I feel like it should be, but as long as that shit is butter, I'm not hating. So that's sort of what I've been seeing just throughout like these rosters, the game, and I think how it's overall just being played. But tomorrow, again, I will do more of a deep dive on the roster and what I think and how it works and why certain players aren't getting certain minutes. But yeah, so we're going to be talking about the concerns of Team USA. I don't think there really should be any concerns. I think that LeBron is showing, again, why he is top 3 all time. I got him at 3. I still can't give him over Michael Jordan and Kobe. I got Kobe at 2. I got Mike at 1, Kobe at 2, LeBron at 3, everybody else. But that's my opinion. I would love to talk about that at some point, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, so we got LeBron, who is showing that he can close out games. Curry is still being Curry. Kevin Durant is being unstoppable. Angel Reese probably gave him the you know what I mean, so that's why he's on. I don't know what type of like KD this is, but he needs to stay doing this because he's not missing shots. He's taking good shots. There are some contested shots that he did take, but it doesn't matter. I think that we are showing like the gap between the NBA and the rest of the other leagues. We have our best players now, and Kyrie is not on this team. Jaylen Brown and maybe 3 others who there is a chance where they could have been on this team and been a great asset. But this is probably the best team that they could get and it being a cohesive team. And I think they're doing exactly what they're doing right. During the during like those early games where they were beating South Sudan by 1 point or barely really squeezing by wins, you're seeing a completely different team. You're seeing almost domination almost every single night. You're seeing great shots, great passes. People are falling in line. I think that Steve Kerr, I understand that people be hating on Steve Kerr. I hate on Steve Kerr. I think sometimes he does dumb shit. I don't think this is the case, though. I mean, maybe you could have snuck in some minutes for Joel Embiid and like Jason Tatum earlier, but they're winning games, so it's like, are you really gonna complain about minutes? That's my thoughts on it. But yeah, heavily favored, as it should be. I don't think there's any team roster-wise that could really hang. I mean, maybe Canada, but that's because they have a lot of good to great NBA players on that team. Every other team, I don't think there's a really good chance. But yes, let's go ahead and see what they got to say.
By 34.5 against Puerto Rico. Keep in mind that point difference in points scored will be used as tiebreakers for seeding the quarterfinal draw. So now we're here with the busiest man in the business, Wendy. So you were at practice today when Steve Kerr said what we just heard. The 1 seed is the priority for Team USA. What can you expect from them tomorrow?
Yeah, I think what Steve is trying to do, Puerto Rico has been the weakest performing team in the tournament. They've been outscored by 52 points in their first 2 games. I think Steve Kerr is trying to keep his team on edge.
Point differential really mattered. They needed to say that. And I like that he's messaging that now, because if you go out and beat Puerto Rico.
What the fuck was that cut? I didn't even cut that. It was just NBA Today acting up. But yeah, so let's go ahead and hear what never mind.
Go by 50, people are going to say they're running up the score, but there's a reason they go and do that, because they need that 1 seed and the point differential matters.
Yeah, I think Ramon is right on here. I do think rebounding and that 3-point shooting is an issue. Not an issue, but something to keep an eye on. Steph is kind of in a slump. He's only shot 24% on threes over his last 4 games, going back to the last couple of games in London. Of course, we know Steph can break out of it. The one thing where the U.S. has been a little bit soft in really this whole summer, they're not terrific in half-court offense. The game plan against them is to slow the game down. And the reason you want to do that is, number one, they're awesome in transition. And number two, in half-court sets, they're just not that practiced. They don't have great chemistry yet. They kind of just run random offense at times, where they're just sort of going on principles and just trying to make plays off each other. And that's just the nature of not having time together. So that is one thing that the U.S. wants to stay out of. They want to have a high-tempo game.
I personally think that they can fix that. I think that they have a great point guard in Tyrese Halliburton, that if he's watching and paying attention to see what the fuck's going on, you can slide him into that more what's the word that I'm trying to find? That point guard role that is the pass first guy. He can create the plays for his team. I think if you put him with Steph at the 2, it seems like he's not really shooting that well. But again, it's Steph Curry. How many threes is he really gonna miss? Like, he may be shooting bad right now, but again, shooting bad and still blowing out teams. Are we really worried that much? You got Kevin Durant, who can score off the dribble, who can find his shot when needed. LeBron is LeBron still. And AD is still an offensive threat just off of lob threat. You saw a lot of lobs, pick and rolls, back cuts. He's been cutting hard. You're seeing a lot of hard cuts from him with the Kevin Durant dish to him as well. And Ant-Man, he's coming off the bench being that Jamal Crawford, Lou Williams style of player. He really doesn't like defer to anyone. Maybe Kevin Durant, but again, Kevin Durant ain't missing shit. So why would you not defer to him? So I think that their roster is nice all the way through. I think when it comes to the half-court game, if needed, they can throw Tyrese Halliburton. Jason Tatum as well can score in a set if needed. So there's a lot that you can see here. There's a lot of great ways to fix that half-court scoring issues. And I think they just have to lock in and do it. I don't think they've had to lock in and like do it. So I really don't think this is a huge deal. And they said that rebounding, I mean, again, they are winning games by big margins. You're seeing sometimes where they're taking plays off because they're winning so much. They can, I feel like Team USA can turn it on. There's if you ever really watch basketball, any title contending team can flip a switch and turn it on. That old Steph and Kevin Durant Warriors team, they could turn it on. Even the Denver Nuggets team, when they were up against my Lakers, they were down, they were struggling, and then they flipped the switch and just won. This team is capable of that, and if they ever, I feel like, need to dig themselves out of a hole, which they have done, they can do it. So personally, I'm not really worried about it at all.
Look, let's be real. I mean, this Olympic team, they're flawless. They Beyonce, okay? They're flawless when it comes down to the Achilles heel. Now, they don't have none of that.
The fuck?
You got that in Kevin Durant and LeBron.
Yo, this NBA today random cuts be messing up my flow. But let's go ahead and continue what Perk has to say.
James as well. Then you have a spark plug in Anthony Edwards. Look, the only thing that's going to beat Team USA is Team USA, and that's them not having the right mindset. I don't see that happening with Steve Kerr, Eric Spoelstra, and Ty Lue leading the way. Look, at the end of the day, this is the reason why we're measuring this team to the 92 Dream Team is because they're so talented and they got a mixture of the OGs and young guys that want to win and know it's about the name on the front of the jersey and not the back of the jersey.
Perk, I will say, I love that you bring Beyonce into this because I've been listening to her with Simone Biles the other, like last night in gymnastics. That was amazing. But they do have, they have guys out there that are not being featured in the way that they normally are featured in the NBA.
Yeah.
Like Joel Embiid is out there basically setting picks and spacing the floor. I'd like to see
Joel Embiid is getting exposed for the only thing that he knows how to do. This is showing what the problem with that 76ers team is, and we are seeing why they brought in a Paul George. Let's go ahead and do a quick dissection on what I'm talking about. Joel Embiid's whole thing is offense. He's an offensive generating big man. He can shoot the three. He can shoot the mid-range. I believe he has one of the better mid-ranges of a lot of big men. He knows how to post up. He does post up. I would want to see him post up a little bit more, but he can take you off the dribble. He can face up and go right by you. There is a lot of offensive skills and gifts he has. Defensively, not as much, but still a quality big man defender. Not bad. He knows how to move his feet with big men. He knows how to get into position with rebounding. He knows how to do those things. What we are seeing now is what happens when he doesn't get touches and when he doesn't make shots. He's not making shots because he's not getting touches. You're seeing him having to set screens. You're seeing him have to focus more so on the defensive end. You're seeing him having to make that extra pass. You're seeing a completely different Joel Embiid and seeing how important it is for him to have the ball in his hands. There's a lot of players on this team who are being exposed for not being able to play without having the ball in their hands effectively. That is what's happening. Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum is a quality defender. He's a quality defender, good size, athletic guy. The only reason he should not be getting minutes is if there are other players doing, doing his offensive job better, and it's almost putting Steve Kerr in a position to be like, okay, should I get someone who is maybe not as good on the offensive end, but has some defensive push with him, or do I find someone who can do both of those at a very, very high and very, very high skill level? Kevin Durant, Drew Holiday, LeBron. Those three can play both sides of the ball at a high skill level, but I think that because Jason Tatum doesn't have a standout skill, I guess, it's sort of putting Steve Kerr in a weird position. And by that I mean he's a great offensive player, great defensive player, but there are other players better on the offensive side than he is, and then there are other players that are better on the defensive side than he is. We don't need more offense. This team is too much offense. We need glue guys. We need players who are willing to be the pick setter, the rebounder, the person who is just that extra body to get in the way, the person who makes the pass to the assist. We need just small non-stat sheet showing things. And we're seeing what happens when you put hella alpha males and asking some of these alpha males to become beta just for right now. And it's not working. As far as like the potential of Team USA, I feel like they should be better, but from what's going on, I personally think that's what's going on. They don't know how to play without having the ball in their hand, especially Joel Embiid. I think that you're seeing a lot of what people have been saying about Joel Embiid. I think that he's offensively gifted, he's defensively gifted, but there's a reason that they're not making it over the hump. And I believe that is the reason right there. Can Joel Embiid recognize what to do when he's not the focal point of the offense? They got Tyrese Maxey. They got Paul George. I don't think Paul George is going to be option 2. He may be option 3, but I think that Joel Embiid should be option 1. But when Tyrese Maxey is going off, when Tyrese Maxey sees a mismatch, when Tyrese Maxey is faster than the other guy, he needs to defer to Tyrese Maxey. I think that's why James Harden left. Because I don't think he deferred to James Harden enough when James Harden was the right option for a certain offensive play. I think that is what's happening a lot.
See them in a game against Puerto Rico. Try to play through Embiid. He's a huge advantage for them. There's a reason they went out and wanted him so badly on this team. And against Serbia, against Germany, and Canada, they're going to want to use him as more of a weapon and not just setting screens and spacing the floor.
I do want to ask you a quick question, Perk, because Ramona mentioned Steph Curry's struggles. Do you feel like if Steph Curry continues having these struggles, that Team USA will still be able to go forward and win the gold?
Absolutely, because I don't believe that Kevin Durant is going to struggle. Devin Booker has still been playing some wonderful basketball. You got Derek White, and look, Drew Holiday still can make shots. So although one guy may struggle, that's the luxury of having so much talented depth, because guys could pick up what other guys are not providing.
Greek mythology, and
that's true. And that's pretty much all. I feel like that pretty much explains what's going on currently, you know, what they gotta say, or what I gotta say. Again, I use their videos as a vessel for me to get to you guys, and sort of, you know, make it feel like I'm on NBA Today. But that's pretty much all I got for you guys. Tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. We got another video for you guys tomorrow. Like, comment, subscribe. Hit that link to become a member. See you guys later. Peace.